Instagram and Periscope. How y'all doing on today? I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Guys, we are on Friday. It's Friday. The weekend is here. Rejoice. So we are, it's Friday. I know you're not used to seeing me on Fridays, but I told you yesterday I was going to be on today. We're on 2 times a week now. I'm not going to say that Friday at 6 is definitely going to be the second day, but we got to start somewhere, right? And yesterday when I was online with you guys, you said that you wanted me to come back on at 6 p.m. tonight. So here I am. Of course, we are waiting till 6:05 so that you guys can come on in the room and we can do our introductions. I can introduce myself. As you come in, please drop your name. If you have a business, let people know what you do. While we wait for you guys to show up, just going to let you know about some of the things that we're going to be... Yes, some of the things that we're going to be discussing tonight. We have to go back over Megan Thee Stallion because I got some of it wrong. Not much, but we got to do some corrections. We're going to be talking about a financial quarterback. We're going to be talking about Kylie Minogue again, and Kylie Jenner. We're also going to be talking about some pretty big brand names. Hi to Beth Ocean 90. How are you? We're on Friday today. I don't know if you saw the post that I was doing, trying to get an idea of if people wanted more episodes of NPL Legal Dish, but it was a 100% yes. But I realized that every day wasn't going to be feasible for me. So we're starting off at 2 days a week, seeing how that goes. And then, if stars align for us to do more, we'll do more. But my goal is to always have a substantive show for you that is, good in length and also good in discussion. The reason why I was adamant about doing more days a week is because I feel like sometimes I have to rush through the stories and we can't really get that good of a discussion going. So I really want to make sure that we can talk about all of the stories and you guys can get all your questions answered and I can really explain the concepts. So that's why we're doing it 2 days a week. We are just starting out with Friday at 6. This is a test episode. I'm not going to say that this is going to be what we're going to do every week because I like my Fridays too. So it might have to be another day, but for today, Friday, we are on our second episode. We're going to wait about 2 more minutes for people to come in. Tibet Ocean, thank you so much for your dedication. You have been rocking with me for a while and I appreciate you. This is something that I never thought that I would be doing. And, the fact that people like you find usefulness in what I have to say really makes me feel good. So thank you for being here. For everybody in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope land, you guys make this show possible. Without you, who am I talking to? I'm just a crazy person on the internet. All right, we've only got 1 more minute before we get started. So, if you always, as always, if you have stories that, I'm going to explain what the show is. Oh, thank you. I'm going to explain what the show is. But if you ever have stories that you want me to talk about, please DM them, email me, smoke signal, beat me, I don't know, carrier pigeon, however you can get a story to me. Let me know so that we can talk about it. Okay. I think we're probably going to be on for about 45 minutes today, maybe an hour, depending on how the discussion goes. And I'm going to need everybody who told me to be on here at 6 p.m. to show up. I'm looking for V-Dub. I'm looking for Nicole. I'm looking for Trini Lover. I'm looking for God Money Records COO. I'm calling y'all out by name. Hi, Mac Blue. How are you today? All right. We have reached 6:05. It is time to start. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish and happy Friday. If this is your first time seeing my face, hearing my voice on this platform, I am Natalie Pierre-Louis. I am the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help you get your business paperwork together, things like getting registered with the state, making sure you have appropriate contracts, hiring employees properly, having your EIN number, protecting your intellectual property through trademarks, patents, and copyrights. I help you do all of that stuff. And you might be asking yourself, why is she qualified to help you? And I'm so glad that you asked. I've been a licensed attorney for over a decade. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others. I also have a huge mosquito bite that is itching me right now. I've had many careers in the realms of law, entrepreneurship, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I am very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everybody as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire. Hi, Trevor Greenleaf. The time, money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school. But so many of us, so many of you have amazing business ideas, and there are certain concepts that you need to know as a business owner. That's just the way things are. And that's why I'm here. If you are interested in any of my services, you can go to Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. And now to the reason why we're here. This is NPL Legal Dish. This is my weekly live show, now 2 days a week, where I pull celebrity stories and pop culture stories from the news to explain business and legal concepts to you guys. Okay. Now, originally, this was a once a week show. And we still have that time slot. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always find me here talking about these stories. But this is our inaugural second of the week episode or whatever. So we're going to do this show 2 times a week. I haven't decided on the official schedule of the second show yet, but we're starting somewhere. Okay. So now is the time for you to share this show out to your friends, your family, anybody you know who needs some business help. Send it on out to them. Don't be selfish. Send it out. All right. And if you have any comments, any questions, I will be checking in with you, but feel free to drop them in the comments and I will answer them as I can. Okay. All right. So here we go. Oh, also wanted to remind you guys, don't forget to download the free business prep toolkit when you go to the link in my bio, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. If you are at stage 1 of your business and you just don't know where to start, that is really going to help you a lot. So go download that. Okay. All right. Now we're starting. So the first story that we are talking about today is actually a correction from yesterday. Yesterday, we started off the show with my girl, Megan Thee Stallion. And I had said that she was trademarking the phrase hot girl summer. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. She's not trademarking hot girl summer. She's trademarking hot girl Meg. Either way, I'm very proud of Megan. She's out here doing the things. I really like her because, she's trying to get her fan base to be more, environmentally involved. Wow. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I got to put this on Do Not Disturb. Hold on. All right. I am so sorry about that, Facebook. I did not mean for that to happen. I just put the phone on Do Not Disturb. But anyway, so hi, Gutta Nerd for life. Okay. Anyway, so congratulations to hot girl Meg and her impending trademark. Okay. So now we're on to the news stories. So this week, or not this week, but today, we've got some news stories and we've got some continuations of stories from yesterday. So this first, this is a news story. So this is the story of the financial quarterback. Now, I bet you didn't think that the financial world could be, fun and exciting, but it can be. All right. So there are these two companies that provide financial services. One is called Jelinski Advisory Group and one is called Edelman Financial Engines. They both help people manage their wealth, right? Yeah. The Jelinski Advisory Group has had a radio show called The Financial Quarterback that they've been using that name since 2006. Actually, I think I've heard of the show Financial Quarterback. Now, Edelman Financial Engines, they are more established than the Jelinski Advisory Group, but apparently not established enough that they can't come up with their own advertisements, because they have been using the phrase financial quarterback in their promotional and marketing materials. Now, remember, Jelinski Advisory Group has been using this name since 2006. And what they're saying is that by Edelman using this phrase, financial quarterback, they're causing confusion in the marketplace. And Jelinski is saying that they have lost business to Edelman because they have been using the phrase financial quarterback. So they're seeking an injunction, meaning that they want the court to tell Edelman Financial Engines to stop using the phrase financial quarterback. Edelman Financial Engines themselves, they're like, I don't know what they're talking about. This is so dumb. And we don't like, you need more people. Okay. And this is actually not Jelinski's first lawsuit against anybody. They've sued a few people and they don't really care about the money. They're more concerned about people using the phrase because they don't want confusion in the marketplace. And that is what you want when you have your trademark. Your trademark is supposed to set your goods apart in the marketplace. That's why we know when we see the golden arches that is McDonald's. That's why we know when we see that apple with the bite taken out of it, that is an Apple product for technology and not an apple that you eat. Your trademark, that is how people recognize you in the world, and it's very important to protect it. So this is a case of a company going out and protecting their name so that people don't get confused. Because if I'm saying I'm the financial quarterback, but you, hi Sincere 39, but then you are engaged in the same services and you're calling yourself a financial quarterback, people are either going to think that we are working together or, you know, in conjunction with each other, or that we're the same company. And what Jelinski is saying is that no, that's not the case. We've been using financial quarterback since 2006. Stop using our phrase. Okay. So that is the financial quarterback story. Now, some of these stories that I'm going to go over, there are corresponding photos that go with them. I was trying to do screen share, but I can't do it on the platforms that I'm using today. But I have posted them in the stories on Instagram. Yeah, well, we're doing, if you remember, give me 1 second, Sincere's 39. So if you go in the stories on Instagram, or if you check my last post on Facebook, you will see the photos that I'm going to be talking about today. Sincere 39. If you remember earlier, I believe earlier in the week, I was talking about, I asked the question of if people wanted a daily or a weekly show. And everybody said they wanted a daily show. But then when I thought about it, hello on Facebook, but when I thought about it, I knew that I wanted the show to still be substantive so that, you know, we could have a good time together and, you know, but we could go over the material. So right now we're doing 2 days a week. Today is our second episode. I'm not going to say that Fridays at 6 is going to be our definite time, but we're going to test out different times and days and see how that works. Okay. So that's why I'm on Friday at 6. But thank you for joining. All right. Okay. So we have finished financial quarterback. All right. Next story that we are talking about is actually one that I started yesterday and I had to kind of roll back on because I got confused. So yesterday we were talking about Kylie Minogue versus Kylie Sunglasses. So we all know that I've talked a lot about this case about Kylie Minogue trying to defend her name against Kylie Jenner, but she was also trying to defend her name against this Spanish eyewear company that has named their glasses Kylie. Okay. So this Spanish eyeglass company called Saldum Ventures, they filed a trademark application for eyewear and watches in the United States. But the application was denied because there was already a trademark for Kylie for watches and eyewear that was owned by Kylie Minogue, right? And then they got denied again in Australia because that's where Kylie Minogue is from. However, they were able to win in the UK. They were able to win a trademark for the word Kylie for eyewear because Kylie Minogue does not have a trademark in the UK for eyewear. Okay. And why I picked this case, it's so that you understand that while you may have a trademark in the United States, It doesn't necessarily protect you overseas. And it's up to you to be vigilant, to go around. Like, if you remember, I talked a lot about the Christian Louboutin case where he was going around trying to get the red bottoms trademark, and he won in some countries and he lost in some others. So this case really demonstrates that there are different rules in different countries for trademarks, and it's up to you to really go out and be vigilant and protect your mark. All right. So, okay. Yeah. So that was that. Next story we are talking about has to do with another Kylie Jenner, who we talked about yesterday. Okay. So we know that the Kardashians, they are masters at branding themselves, right? They brand everything. Kylie has been branding shoes, nail polish, whatever. But Kylie apparently tried to trademark something called Kylie Skin for makeup and cosmetic tools. And she filed the application, hello, on Facebook. But the problem was a Chinese company named Shenzhen Hedi Cosmetic Tools Company Limited already had Kylie Skin registered. And they were actually in the process of cutting a deal to use her image for the brand. So Kylie's application for Kylie Skin was denied because she's about to get another deal with another company and they already have the trademark. So this is why it is important to do your homework when you are trying to trademark something. You don't want to waste your money and file an application for a trademark only to find out that somebody else has it. A little bit of research goes a long way. If you wanted some of the places that you can go and look to find if something is trademarked already, you can go directly to the USPTO website. They have something called the TEAS. Well, they have a tool on their website that will allow you to search all of the trademarks that are registered federally in the United States. All right. So this case is an example in doing your homework. Do your homework, guys. All right. All right. Oh, also the Black Vogue story that I talked about yesterday, the picture is in my IG stories and it's on Facebook. But we're going to take a quick break. Some other people have come into the room. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on a Friday. This is my first attempt at a second weekly episode of my weekly live show. I'm really excited about expanding this for you guys. I really want us to have good conversations that you can learn from and, take these lessons. So thank you all for joining me. If you are interested in any of my business formation services, like, getting you registered with the state, getting you some trademarks, getting you contracts, please book a free 15-minute consultation so we can talk about how I can help you at Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. All right. Okay. Now, next story. How many of you guys have heard of the brand Valentino? If you have heard of the brand Valentino, I would like to see a V in the comments. Valentino. Valentino. Oh, Valentino. If you've heard of the brand, it's a luxury brand, Valentino, I want to see a V in the comments. And I need to see 2 answers on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. If you've heard of Valentino, if you have not heard of Valentino, just say no. All right. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to move forward with the stories, okay? All right. So Valentino is a very well-known luxury brand. But if you didn't know, there is also, okay, Sincere doesn't know who Valentino is. Tibet Ocean doesn't know who Valentino is. That's okay. Valentino is a luxury brand, high-end luxury brand. But there is also another another brand, and they started in 1960. But there is another brand called Marco Valentino that started in 1952. Valentino does high-end, like, clothing, bags, everything. They're all about fashion. Marco Valentino only does footwear and leather goods, right? So they both started around the same time. Marco Valentino started about 8 years before Valentino. Okay? Now, so of course, there was confusion in the marketplace. So both of these companies, instead of going to court, they decided to have a coexistence agreement between them. And that started in 1979. So in this hi the C word. So in this coexistence agreement, it let Marco Valentino register Marco Valentino, M Valentino, Valentino, the initials MV and the initial V, and it gave them permission to use these marks on the outside of their outside of goods made of leather or imitation leather goods. As well, they were allowed to use the mark Marco Valentino inside the bags. Okay, so their coexistence agreement said, all right, Marco Valentino, there's confusion in the marketplace. Here are the phrases that you can use for your stuff, and here's where you can use it on your stuff. So that was the agreement. Okay, and the agreement was going well for 4 decades, no problem. But now Valentino, the high-end luxury clothing line, is saying that Marco Valentino is using these labels in a manner that is not permitted by this agreement that they have had in place for 40 years. So what happened was Marco Valentino used the initial V and the word Valentino together on a bag. The agreement that they have with Valentino, the clothing line, is that they can use V or Valentino, but they cannot use them together. This is why it is very important to understand contracts, to understand words and clauses, because an and or an or can really affect what your contract says. You need to understand what your contracts say. So Marco Valentino was only supposed to use V or Valentino, and they were using V and Valentino, and that was not permitted with their agreement with the other Valentino. Okay, on top of that, they designed their bags to look similar to bags that Valentino was designing. And there is I think there's a picture in what I posted on IG of those bags. And then on top of that, when they were marketing these bags, they used the phrase Valentino, one of the top brands in the world. If I'm thinking Valentino, one of the top brands in the world, I'm thinking of Valentino. I'm not thinking of Marco Valentino, right? Because I never heard of Marco Valentino before I read this case. And then, as well as Valentino, one of the top brands in the world, they also used the phrase a top designer name that people worldwide are familiar with. Now, I know that Tibet Ocean 90 and Sincere 90 did not know what the Valentino line was, but people who are interested in high-end fashion, they are very familiar with Valentino. And when they hear the word Valentino, they're not thinking of Marco Valentino. They're thinking of just regular old Valentino. So for Marco Valentino to go around saying that we are one of the most recognized brands in the world, that is definitely causing confusion because nobody really knows who you are, girl. Then, on top of that, Marco Valentino, the brand, raised the price of their bags to match or come close to the price of the other Valentino bags. So they were really positioning themselves to be kind of like fake Valentino. So now Valentino, the high-end clothing line, wants money damages, and they want Marco Valentino to stop using the marks in a way that was not prescribed by their contract. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about this? Because Valentino and Marco Valentino, they started pretty close to around the same time. And that now obviously Valentino has more money than Marco Valentino, but they had this agreement that basically kind of limited how Marco Valentino could use his stuff. And it was valid because they had the same name. But I want to know from you, do you think that the agreement that Marco Valentino had with regular Valentino was fair, where there were limitations on how they could use their name, even though they started first? So that's what I want to know from you guys. This might be a tough one. So if you like, if you need some time to think, don't worry about it. It's a little tough for me because I kind of think like, well, Marco Valentino started first. Why should I have to limit myself for a company that started second? But if that company started second and they have more money, yes, it worked for 40 years. Okay, so you think it was a good deal, you know, and that is a very good argument. It was working fine for 40 years. What's wrong now? But then there's also the thing that maybe Marco Valentino was feeling their beat. Maybe they're like, we're tired of playing second fiddle. Sincere 39 said it also sounds confusing. It does sound confusing. It's confusing to me sometimes 'cause I'm like, Valentino, Marco Valentino, what it is. So I'm sure that's why they had to do this, because there was like people were just like, is it Valentino or is it Valentino? So we're gonna see what happens with Marco Valentino and regular Valentino. All right. All right. Next story we're talking about. Has anybody heard of the shoe brand Doc Marten? If you've heard of Doc Martens, give me a D in the comments. Doc Marten. If you've heard of Doc Marten, give me a D in the comments. And probably only the ladies might know these lines, but if you have heard of Boohoo, Nasty Gal, or Pretty Little Thing, give me a Y in the comments. So if you've heard of Doc Martens, all right, I've got one for Doc Marten. If you've heard of Boohoo, Nasty Gal, or Pretty Little Thing, these are clothing lines, give me a Y in the comments. Doc Marten D, Boohoo, Nasty Gal, and Pretty Little Thing, I need a Y. Okay, Tibet Ocean has heard of you know those. People promote their clothes all the time on Instagram. Okay, so here's the thing: Boohoo, Nasty Gal, and Pretty Little Thing, they are fast fashion lines. We've talked about fast fashion a lot here, and how companies like H&M, Forever 21, and Zara can get away with copying high-end designer looks because there are no trademarks in fashion, right? However, you can get a trade design patent, like the way it looks. You can get protection for how something looks if it is separate from how the thing works. So if you have a shoe, you can't just patent the design of a shoe. But if it's a shoe that does something special, like, you know, it helps you with your back problems, or, you know, it helps you lose weight or something, you can patent that design. So Doc Marten has design patents on some of their shoes. Boohoo, Nasty Gal, and Pretty Little Thing, as fast fashion lines, their thing is, we're going to take the high-end stuff and we're going to copy it. So they were rampantly copying Doc Marten shoes. To the point that they had to enter a settlement agreement with Doc Marten because Doc Marten tried to sue all of them. But they keep on doing it. And if you want to see the shoes that they were copying, it is in my IG story, and it's on my last post on Facebook. And the shoes look very, very similar. So Doc Marten is fed up with all of these fast fashion lines stealing their shoe design, and they want $1 million per mark per service for good use. So they basically want $1 million for every design that they ripped off, that these fast fashion companies ripped off from Doc Marten. Okay. The problem with this is that the reason why a lot of fashion companies don't sue when people steal their design is because you have to prove that people associate that design with your brand. So what Doc Marten's parent company would have to prove is that when people see these shoes, they automatically think of our brand. So my question to you is, if you are familiar with Doc Marten, like Tibet Ocean 90, you are familiar with Doc Martens. Do you associate them with a particular design or look? When you think of Doc Martens, does a particular shoe come to mind for you? Because Tibet Ocean, you're the only one who's heard of these brands. So I want to know if When you think of Doc Martens, what comes? So Sincere, are you saying yes when you think of Doc Martens, you think of a specific design? If yeah, if that's what you're saying, please put a 1. If not, please explain what you're saying yes to. I don't remember the shoes, just the name. Okay, and that is fair. The name Doc Marten, definitely there is name recognition, right? But for me, back in the 90s, there were a couple of boots that look like Doc Martens. Okay, so you associate Doc Martens with a specific look. Okay, all right. I didn't, but you do. So maybe Doc Martens parent company has a real claim to this thing that people associate our shoes with a certain look, and these companies are stealing it. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this case and see what happens, because I mean, does Doc Marten have the juice? Do people associate their shoes with a specific look? Because the shoes that these fast fashion brands were copying were specifically boots. They were like hard, like kind of like hardcore boots. Okay. Hi, New Haitian. How are you? Okay. So we will keep our eye on that case. Also, guys, don't forget to pick up your tickets to Business Launch Bootcamp Digital, happening August 15th. Tickets are on sale now. Link is in the bio. Let's move on to our next story. All right. Have you anybody ever heard of Uggs? If you've heard of Uggs, give me a U in the comments. Them ugly little shoes. If you've heard of Uggs, I want to see a U in the comments. And if you've heard of Target, which everybody should know about Target, I want to see a T in the comments. If you've heard of Uggs, I want to see a U. If you've heard of Target, I want to see a T. I've got 1 U from Sincere. I've got 2 U's to Bet Ocean 90. If you've heard of Target, give me a T. Or Target, as I like to say when I'm feeling fancy. Sincere, I got a T from Sincere. And I got a T from Tibet Ocean. New Haitian, you just gonna leave me hanging? All right. Okay. New Haitian gave me a U and a T. Sincere 39 said Ugg slippers are comfortable. They're comfortable, but they ugly. I hate Uggs. All right. So here's what happened. I don't know if you guys remember that case that I talked about. I called it Goliath Slays David. Basically, Ugg sued a shoe seller in Australia. This one guy, I think they sued him for like $500,000 because he was selling knockoff Uggs, right? And Uggs is at it again. Now Uggs is suing Target because they said that Uggs is selling knockoff Bailey button boots. And if you, again, go to my IG stories, or if you go to my last post on Facebook, you will see the Ugg boots that are in question. So Uggs is saying that Target has basically designed a boot to look just like Uggs Bailey button boot. And they're selling it. And this is not the first time that Target has been sued for this. If you remember, we talked about the story of Target being sued by Vans because there's a shoe that Target is selling that looks a lot like the Vans that have like that white stripe down the middle. So Uggs is coming for their coins. Target has been sued by a lot of people. Atari, Uggs, what did I just say? Vans, a few people. Again, this is a company that they make their money on volume. A lot of these, big box companies, they hire out to other companies to make, the generic line of whatever you want to get. And sometimes they cross the line. So I think this is a case of that happening here. But I want to know from you guys, have you guys ever seen any boots at Target that look like Uggs? We all go to Target, so don't act like you don't. When you've been in Target, have you seen any boots that look like Uggs? Yes or no? I personally have not, but that's because I'm not checking for Uggs. Yep, New Haitian said that he has seen boots in Target that look like Uggs. So this is a problem because if I'm going to, what do Uggs go for? I don't know, like $80 or something. Sincere said he has not seen it. Tibet Ocean said she has not seen it. So I don't know what Uggs go for. I think they go for like $100 or something like that. And I'm sure you don't shop at Target. You missing out, girl. Anyway, so you go to Target, knockoffs, very, very much knockoffs. I'm sure the Target knockoffs cost like, Sincere said Uggs cost about $100. I'm sure the fake Uggs at Target probably cost like $20. So if I have the ability as a consumer to get a shoe that looks exactly like $100 shoe and pay $20, what am I going to do? I'm going to go for the $20 shoe, right? So Uggs is like, yo, you're just going to steal our design? No, thank you. And they're like, stop making this shoe. And they're not just suing Target, they're suing Target's manufacturer that designs these shoes. I believe that Tibet Ocean doesn't live in the country, and that's why they don't shop at Target. Oh no. Was that you? No, I think that was Tablis. Sorry. Well, you tell us why you don't shop there, Tibet Ocean. Or maybe you're in Tibet. Okay. So, Uggs is suing Target. Target has a history of stealing. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay? Oh, you do live in the US. Oh, okay. Then I mistook you for somebody else. Sorry. So why don't you shop at Target? Target's the best. But whatever. You don't have to justify yourself to us. All right. So this next story has to do I have anyone here who has heard of Too Expensive? Okay. Do I have anybody here who has heard of Sour Patch Kids? A candy. Sour Patch Kids. If you've heard of Sour Patch Kids, give me a K in the comments. Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids. Dang, we're already at like 40 minutes, guys. Okay, so Sincere has heard of Sour Patch Kids. Tibet has heard of Sour Patch Kids. Okay. All right, I guess New Hi, Jasmine Vidovic. All right, so, all right. And Sincere has heard of Sour Patch Kids. Here we go. So, how many of you guys have heard of Stony Patch? If you have heard of Stony Patch, give me a yes. If you have not heard of Stony Patch, give me a no. Stony Patch. And there is actually a corresponding picture that goes along with this story that you will find in my IG stories and on my last Facebook post. Okay? If you have heard of Stony Patch, all right, I got one no for Stony Patch. Another no for Stony Patch. The reason why you haven't heard of Stony Patch is because they wanted to stay on the low. Stony Patch is a cannabis company that was selling cannabis, hello Facebook, that was selling cannabis infused gummies. And they looked very similar to the packaging of Sour Patch Kids. Again, go check out the pictures on my Facebook and my IG story to go see what I'm talking about. So Sour Patch, the company, they found out that Stony Patch was selling these cannabis infused gummies, and they have launched a lawsuit against them. The problem is they can't find the actual owners of this company. So this is something that I see a lot. If you guys have ever heard my origin story of my company, yeah, right. It looks just like it. If you've ever heard my origin story, you know that I live in the DMV area, and we're in an area where there were a lot of quote unquote companies popping up, and there was a lot of trademark infringement. This is continuing to happen. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a photo of a company that had basically ripped off the Rita's logo for their brand of cannabis treats or whatever, right? So this is the same thing that's happening with Sour Patch Kids. Stony Patch took their design, altered it just a little bit, but was basically using the Sour Patch design to sell a cannabis product. Sour Patch Kids is candy. They market to children. There is absolutely no way on God's green earth that they want to be associated with a cannabis company. So they're trying to sue Stony Patch, but they can't find them because this company has made it very hard to find themselves. They are not an officially registered company. They are only on Instagram, which they have since deactivated their Instagram account. So unless you can find the person that you want to sue, it's going to be really hard to get relief. So we will have to wait and see if they're able to find the owners of this Stony Patch brand. Okay. But for all of you out there who do participate in cannabis consumption, look out and see if your local purveyor has Stony Patch products, because those are trademark infringement. All right. Okay. All right. So we are at the last case. And okay, so I think, yeah, we're going to make about 45, 50 minutes. And this is the case of Tiffany's versus Costco, y'all. If you have heard of Tiffany's, give me a T in the comments. And if you have heard of Costco, give me a C in the comments. And if you have heard of both, tell me which one you like better. If you've heard of Tiffany's, give me a T. If you've heard of Costco, give me a C. And if you've heard of both, tell me which one you like better. Sincere got a T, and a C. Which one do you like better, Sincere? All right, while Sincere tells us what he likes better, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. So we all know that Costco, you can go and find anything. They sell, all right, I got a T and a C from Tibet Ocean. They sell coffins. Yes, Tiffany is a jeweler. They sell coffins. They sell jewelry. They sell food. They sell clothes. You can get anything at Costco, including an engagement ring. Now, no, I'm talking about Tiffany the jeweler, like, you know, the Tiffany blue, the box, jewelry, the silver bangles, the silver baby rattle, Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's, like that movie. Hi, Facebook. Okay. So Costco, they sell everything. Everybody knows that Costco sells stuff, and they will also sell brand name stuff at a discount because you're buying it in bulk. Hi, Shabnam, how are you? So Costco was selling engagement rings, and they put, oh, no problem. And they put, you know, when you have the description for a ring, like it'll have the price and the writing on it. On the description, it said Tiffany on it. And you can see the picture of that in my IG story and on Facebook. So Costco is selling yes, Tiffany sells expensive jewelry. Costco selling these engagement rings at a discount, and they are using the name Tiffany, like they have it on display in the store. Now, Tiffany's got wind of this, and they were like, we are not associated with Costco. We are a high-end luxury jewelry company. What are you doing? The court agreed with Tiffany, and they gave Tiffany's $8.25 million in punitive damages, and they also awarded them $11.1 million in treble damages. Now, remember, when we talk about trademark, I said that one of the perks of having a federally registered trademark is that if somebody is using your mark willfully and with disregard, hi, K. Rousseau Apparel, if they're using your mark and you can prove it to the court that they did it with malice, the court can award you 3 times the amount that your award is, something called treble damages, because they were just out here being reckless. So the court felt that Costco was being reckless, and they awarded Tiffany's about $20 million for all of their trouble. Now, here's the thing. Costco is appealing the decision of the treble damages. And here's why. They're not saying that they didn't, hi Canine Ventures, they're not saying that they didn't use Tiffany's name, because they did. Hi BE3071. What they are saying is that nobody would have mistaken the Costco rings for Tiffany rings. They're saying that we were not selling counterfeit Tiffany rings. They know that we're Costco. We're selling cheap rings. Yes, we put the name Tiffany on there, but in no way did anybody ever think that we were associated with Tiffany. So what I want to know from you guys, what I want to hear from you as an audience is, what do you think about Costco's argument? And what do you as a person with common sense think? If you went to Costco and you saw engagement rings in there and it said Tiffany on the label or wherever, would you think that Tiffany had cut a deal with Costco? What y'all think? Because for me, I don't see it happening. I really don't. And the sign that I saw, like, it was just literally Tiffany written. It wasn't like in the Tiffany blue or anything. But still, they had a display sign. So Canine Ventures said yes, they would think that Tiffany's had cut a deal with Costco. So as yes, BE3071 said so as well, and Tibet Ocean 90 said so. So y'all would think that Tiffany's had cut a deal with Costco. So this is actually going against. I wouldn't think of Tiffany at Costco. Okay, so but we've got 4 people in here. We've got 3 people who said yes and 1 who said no. So even in this small pool of people, 75% of people in this audience said that if they went to Costco and saw a sign that said Tiffany's for engagement rings, they would think that Tiffany's had cut a deal with Costco. So this is probably a bad argument for Costco. They are a world-renowned known brand. They are known for having discounted luxury items. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, because they were already penalized with this award. They're going to have to pay some money. Canine Ventures said they would think it's to introduce a lower price option from Tiffany's. And that is valid, because that's what some high-end stores do, is that to keep the appearance that they are high-end, they will cut deals with cheaper stores. I've gone to H&M and I've seen collaborations with Balmain and H&M. Like, so this is I like this. I like sourcing from you guys, because we get an idea of what the average consumer is going to think when they walk into an establishment. Sincere39 says Tiffany's don't lowbrow. Tiffany's, they may not lowbrow, but somebody who's not familiar with Tiffany's maybe has heard the name, may not know that. And Tiffany's is trying to protect their name out here in these trademarking streets. So what I want you to do when we're finished with this broadcast is go to either my Facebook or my Instagram story and look at the Tiffany. You're going to see pictures of 2 rings and you're going to see the descriptions. Those are the rings at Costco. And I want you to read the descriptions of them, okay? All right. So yeah, so those are the stories that I have for you today. We went almost an hour, so I'm really glad that I decided to do this second show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on a Friday afternoon. Y'all are so awesome. You could be doing anything else. It's beautiful weather out there. I'm with Tiffany's on this one. Okay, so Sincere is on board with Tiffany's. I agree. I don't know. I just wouldn't think that, and maybe that's just me because I'm just kind of weird about, I know nothing about marketing. I suck at marketing. I wouldn't automatically assume that Costco had cut a deal with Tiffany's. I would think that they were just using it like, you know, this is a Tiffany's like ring. Hi, J Catch. You're catching us on the end, but you can watch the replay. But yeah, so those were the stories that I wanted to talk to you guys with about today. Thank you so much for your energy. Thank you for your input, especially on this Costco one, because I think I was on the other side of that. And now that I'm looking at these responses, I can get a better idea. On Facebook, it's NPL Consult. So NPL CONSULT. Okay. But we are going to be on Thursday. Our regular Thursday is still on. Thursdays at 6. Go download my free business prep toolkit. Go get the sneak peeks to some of my ebooks. Go sign up for Business Launch Bootcamp Digital happening August 15th. All of you, come get your business life together. If you have stories that you want me to talk about, now we have 2 days a week to talk about it. Please send them to me. I want us to have dialogue. I want to answer your questions. I want to be a resource for you. So it helps me when I know what you want to talk about. So send me your stories, okay? So I'm gonna log off now because it's Friday and I know y'all want to go and do some hot girl and hot boy stuff. But have a great weekend. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your attention. And I will see you on social media. Bye.